Welcome to a plank-free gentle flow. For the next 10 minutes, we'll be moving through some gentle yoga poses and movements, starting in a seated position. Let your eyes softly close. Hands can come to your rib cage for a little bit more awareness of your breath. As you inhale, really try to breathe into the sides of the ribs. As you exhale, let the breath all the way out. Feeling that side-to-side expansion in your ribs. Fully exhaling. And now as you inhale, feel the ribs expand front and back, letting the exhales all the way out. Really try to breathe into your front ribs and your back ribs. Now we'll come into a full 360 breath. As you inhale, feel the rib cage expand in all directions, front, side, and back, creating as much space as you can for your breath in your lungs. Exhaling to let it all the way out. Transitioning into a quadruped, coming onto hands and knees, shoulders right over your wrist, hips over your knees. Reach your right arm forward, hold the spine still, and then lower that right arm down. Reach your left arm forward without changing your spine. Lower the hand down. Now keep the pelvis neutral as you reach your right leg back into a three-legged quadruped. Lower that right knee back down to quadruped. Reach your left leg back behind you so the left hip is extended. Hold that neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Left knee comes back into quadruped. Start to move through cat-cow at any pace that feels good, really rounding and arching your back. Feeling that flexion and extension in all parts of the spine. Keeping that big 360 breath. One more. Come back to that quadruped. Step your right foot through your hands. Left knee will stay down for a 90-90 lunge. Check your neutral spine and then start to roll one shoulder up and back at a time. Make these shoulder rolls as big as you can, feeling the shoulder blades move. Noticing any areas that feel a little sticky or restricted as you roll backwards. Hands come back down. Step your right knee back to quadruped and again hold that neutral spine. Unweight your right knee and just circle that right hip a couple times in both directions. But imagine balancing something on your low back, so we don't want any movement in the low back or the pelvis. Lower it down, switch sides. Left foot steps forward into that low lunge. Check your neutral spine. Roll one shoulder back at a time. Maybe noticing any differences between the right shoulder and the left shoulder. One area might feel a little bit easier to move. Make sure you're still using that 360 breath. Plant the hands down, lower the left knee back to quadruped, and then unweight the left knee to circle that left hip. Try not to move the spine, especially the low back, so we're really just focusing on that left hip joint. Head to a child's pose of any kind. Arms can reach out in front of you as wide as you'd like, or you can stack the forearms, make a little pillow for your head. And as you breathe here, feel that expansion into the sides of your ribs, front of your ribs, and back of your ribs. Heading back to quadruped. Right foot will step through again. Left knee comes and slides in for that 90-90 lunge. Check your neutral spine. Reach your right arm up. Take a side bend over toward the left. So we're going to side bend away from the front leg today. Maybe reach that left arm down toward the ground, really reaching the fingertips down toward the ground. Breathing into the right side of the ribs. You can let the neck release. Come back up. Plant the hands. This time we'll step the right foot out to the side. Right toes face forward, so that right foot is parallel. Coming into an adductor stretch. Now you can stay on your hands. If you find that you'd like to feel more of a stretch along the inner thighs, you can lower onto your forearms. And just start to gently rock forward and back here. Pressing into the pinky toe side of that right foot. So we're targeting our adductors, which are a group of inner thigh muscles here as we rock forward and back. Try to keep that long, neutral spine without dropping the head. Come back up onto the hands. Step that right knee back into quadruped. Left foot will step through. Lift up, check your neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Left arm reaches up. Take a side bend over toward the right. So we're side bending away from the front leg. Right hand can stay at the hip, or you can really reach those right fingertips down toward the ground, letting the neck release. Come back up, plant the hands under the shoulders. Left foot will step out to the side, left toes facing forward. Now again, you can be on hands, you can be on fists, or you can even lower onto your forearms as we start to stretch the left inner thigh. Rocking back and forth as gently and as slowly as you'd like. Holding that neutral spine. Imagine those two pelvic points drawing in to hold the pelvis neutral as you rock forward and back. Step it back to quadruped. We'll take a child's pose. Knees can be as narrow or wide as you'd like. And as you're holding your child's pose, just start to roll and circle the wrists in both directions, giving them a little bit of a break since we've been on our hands. And again, check that expansive 360 breath in the rib cage. Front, side, and back. Exhaling it out all the way. Make your way into a seated position. Sit up nice and tall, but sit however you'd like with your legs. We'll come into a neck stretch. Drop your head toward the right. Maybe grab on with the hand and just add a little gentle pull if that feels okay. Float the head back up and we'll switch. Let the left ear drop toward the left shoulder. Maybe left hand comes to the head, gently pulling to the left. Float the head back up. Release that left arm down, and we'll roll the shoulders up and back one at a time. Again, maybe noticing any differences between right and left shoulder or shoulder blade. Adding some seated cat-cow. Hands can rest on the legs, and we'll arch and round the back. Really pull the chest forward, draw the shoulders back, and then round. Chin can lower down. Side bending. Right arm down, left arm stretches up and over. Let the head release. Breathe into the left side of the rib cage. Come back up and switch. Right arm up and over. Breathe into the right side of the rib cage. Let the neck release. Come back up. Reach both arms forward. Open that left arm up and back like a big circle, rotating in the thoracic spine around the ribs, and then reach it forward again. Big circle with that left arm up and back, turning the ribs slightly to the left. Reach it forward one more time. Open that left arm up and back. Reach it forward. Let's switch. Right arm opens up and back. Rotate the ribs to the right. Reach it forward. Open the right arm up and back, rotating in the thoracic spine. Reach it forward. One more. Rotate up and back. Reach it forward. Hands will release, maybe coming to the legs or back to the rib cage. Let the eyes close. Take a huge breath in and out. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. Coming back to that expansive 360 breath. Breathing into the sides of the ribs, front of the ribs, and back of the ribs.